TIFU by wearing a shawl, which ruined my relationship with my GF. Minor background: I am a pretty affectionate, and at times, effeminate, dude. I'm 6 feet 2 inches and have a pretty tough guy background in that I was in special forces a while ago, and my roommates all served as well, but I also have thin wrists and sit on my friends' laps and blow kisses to them and shit. I'm not gay, I just am me. So while I was in a shop with a roommate a few weeks ago, he saw these really cool shawls that we both couldn't get out of our heads. He returned last weekend to buy them and now we have these shawls. Mine makes me look like a Star Wars character and his looks like the outlaw Josie Wales. These are seriously awesome shawls. The first night we wore them, everybody at the dive bar we went to, dudes, thought they were awesome as well. Then this girl and her friend arrive on invite from Shawlbro, and they are seriously turned off by our sweet shawls. Like, acting pretty weird about them and making comments. Whatever. So I get a call from my GF, she's tired and wants to hang out at mine, and so I bid these mean girls and Shawlbro adieu and head home. I'm still wearing the shawl when my GF arrives and she's also really taken aback. She won't even kiss me until I take it off. We get to the deed and go to sleep, and the next morning she starts asking me if I'm gay. And she's really serious and aggressive about it. I tell her I'm not, that if I was I'd definitely know if by now, and she counters with her major evidence of the fact that I own a shawl. Anyway, she gets weird and leaves, and then sends me a text later about how she's sorry and that she needs to think about what kind of man she wants, and then doesn't contact me for days. So yesterday I invite her out, she's stumbling over her words and talking about how she likes tough guys and how she grew up in the South and needs to get used to the big city, but that she doesn't know this or that, and eventually I just tell her very politely to get fucked because I'm pretty insulted by this point. On the way back, now that I'm not directly in front of her, I get this long apologetic text from her, but the crux of it is that yeah, she's just not that into me anymore because I wore a shawl. Later on, I tell Shawlbro about this, and he also had a blowout with the girl he was seeing over his shawl that very same night we went out. We are both going to keep wearing the shawls though, they are warm. TLDR, me and my friend bought cursed shawls and now we are single. If you and Shawlbro continue to sport shawls and get new, hotter girlfriends, you should call it Shawls Hank Redemption. Search for top comment is definitely over. Shawl Brothers gone wild. Two sayings come to mind here, one from my basic instructor, who was also special forces, so I figure you'll like that one I picked up, somewhere, I don't remember where, a long time ago. What my instructor taught me was simple: if you have something that makes your life easier or more comfortable, like using knee pads, or grabbing an umbrella, or whatever, and you choose not to use it, you are no tougher or better than the man who chooses to. In fact, if it says anything about you, it probably says you're stupider, because while you're standing there, wet and cold in the rain, he grabbed an umbrella and is dry. The other is, the toughest, most alpha thing you can do in any situation is the thing you want. While everyone else is catering to others' whims, you are confidently being you with no fucks given what others think. My uncle in the army always said something similar: never train to be miserable. He was all about having the right equipment and tools to do things properly. If you're doing a drill in winter, you better damn well have broken-in boots and a proper jacket. I had a sergeant in my unit who every time we deployed, went on training, whatever, he'd have a list of items to take. Whenever he found he needed something and he didn't have it, it would get added to his list for the next time. So he lived the never train to be miserable, and taught my young, 2LT self to do the same. He and another SGT taught me more about how to be a leader and how to be prepared than OCS ever did. Good NCOs are worth their fucking weight in gold. My dad always ragged on my older brother about liking girla drinks and not doing manly things, and so I was prepared when he started doing the same with me. I always respond the same, but I am a man and it is something I chose to do, therefore it is manly. Girla drinks are fucking delicious and loaded with alcohol, what's not to love? I get so much shit because I love to drink cosmopolitans, from men and women. You do realize it's used in Sex and the City. The fuck do I care? Those things get you drunk. And it looks so damn cute in the right glass. With the lil straw dangling out. I appreciate this thread so much. Why is it popular to think dudes can't do certain things that are clearly fun and great? Because we need to support each other when we see someone questioning the things we're doing that are clearly fun and great. I stopped commenting, sometimes to make conversation, on whatever a long time ago, and if someone started to explain to me something out of insecurity is when I go out of my way to reassure them that it's great. There's just way too many things to put up with in life where we have no choice but to take it and accept it. The times you have a choice and it's fun and great should be cherished and go unbothered. Oh God, knee pads. I worked construction for a few months and got shit from the other guys when I came in with knee pads one day. Her suck bennies on knees. Why did I even give a shit? It shouldn't even bothered me, I'm gay. Now it's a year later and even though I'm just doing building maintenance now I'm starting to get pressure and pops in my knees. I'm 25, skinny, and my knees are already starting to get fucked up. I should have kept the fucking knee pads. Reply with yeah, mine aren't as broken in as yours. Did you just assume they had worn out benign? No, knee calluses from being expert at the suck. Give your balls a tug you tit fucker. Shalsey. I was gonna say this whole story sounds like the kinda thing someone on Letterkenny would tell. Lose a lot of heat through the neck. You bought a shawl with your pal the other day AI. You wonder if he likes some attentions paid to his butt's hole? It ain't polite to kiss and tell is all. Pitter patter. So, where is the Reddit tax of you two tough shawl bros in your shawls? I personally favor a nice neutral colored thin poncho, however poncho bro doesn't roll off the tongue as well. Edit, vindication. Shawl tax achieved, I shall sink into the shadows. Punk bro. I mean. It's right there. The term is obviously Bronco. Hilarious. What the fuck? All this shawl talk and no pictures. They sound pretty close to Wild West ponchos, to me. Edit yay. He added a picture. Great shawls, too. I have. Shawl envy. I googled shawl men and they look more like something you'd wear to a toga party. Still overreaction by the girls, I'd say. After seeing it, I'm confused about this entire thing. She's cool with him sitting on dudes' laps and blowing kisses to his guy friend but not wearing that? Seems inconsistent. For the record, I have no problem with either, I just don't get her weird line. I read that as the straw that broke the camel's back, I nearly wrote the camel that broke the straw's back, but yeah, seems pretty weird if she was cognizant of all his other effeminate ways. The shawls must indeed be cursed. The shawl that broke the camel's back. Where's the TIFU? I see this as an absolute win. Got a cool shawl, dropped a dummy. Right? He's definitely the winner here. She grew up in the South and needs to get used to the big city. Translation, she has a razor-thin idea of what's acceptable from what she saw in her tiny hick town. After having sex, she asked him if he's gay because an article of clothing. There's a lot to unpack there. Today in having sex with women is gay. Not taking the side that up is gay, but there are closeted gay men out there with wives and kids. It's not that unheard of, particularly when homosexuality was less publicly accepted in society. Yet, many gay people feel the need to hide it, sometimes even from themselves, up to the point of faking full hetero relationships. But, obviously, you should never ask your hetero partner about that just because they're wearing non-gender conforming clothing. We really need a picture of these awesome shawls. Edit, Op delivered, picture of the shawl in his original post. Thanks. Smiley face, no pics is the real TIFU. We all need sweet shawls in our life now. The real LPT is always in the comments. Wait a minute. LPT, if you build it they will come. Build up the real, honest, most organic version of you and the right sort of people will come into your life. When we are false, then people may come deeply into our lives that may not value the real us. Up was never false, his GF's false acceptance and incomplete love of him was the matter. These women need to get bent. If anything to me it solidifies your identity BC you are wearing something that you are comfortable in and fuck all the haters. You do you my man. If my husband all of a sudden decided to wear one of my shawls more power to him. Unless of course I was planning on wearing it that day, in which case we would have to battle over it. A woman who is that concerned about you being a manly man clearly has far deeper insecurities than she is letting on. Good riddance, find yourself a lady who won't question your sexuality based on arbitrary reasons. Thank you for the silver. I think this is the first time I've ever gotten anything like that. I can't wait to tell my hubs. Holy macaroni. Thank you for the gold and platinum. This is the best day ever. My hubs will be proud and we may just have to go out and buy ourselves some matching shawls in celebration. Especially a woman who thinks an ex-Special Forces guy isn't manly because of a clothing choice. Come on now. LMAO. Edit, holy shit people, this comment does not say that Special Forces equals straight. It also does not say what is or is not manly. It says that clothing does not make or break manliness. People really like to read extra between the lines. Shawl bros unreasonable GF, I need a real man, shawls are too girly. Shawl bro, didn't feel so girly when we used them to keep sand out of our eyes looking for Osama. I guess you could say both of those girlfriends were pretty shawl low. I'll see myself out. My man we were shawl over theses puns that night. You should try one on sometime. You've clearly got serious potential from the sound of things. Pics bro. If this dude don't hand over these pics by golly. Thou hast a bullet dodged, shawled sir. Yeah, he dodged a bullet here. My ex got on my ass for the same thing. Accused me of being gay or bi because I had bromance with a few best friends, doing the same shit up does. She didn't trust me when I told her I was 100% sure of my sexuality and I was confident with who I was. She had a problem with me being myself and that was a huge red flag for me. I couldn't give her 100% of my personality without her questioning some aspect of who I was. Unfortunately I stayed in the relationship for 6 months after that, huge mistake. Luckily I got out of it and found someone who loves me for who I am and finds the bromance cute and funny. That's who we all deserve in the end. Someone who loves us for who we are without holding back any of our flaws or traits. Glad you moved on from her. Hopefully Up has better luck with the next one. I was in the military as well, infantry to be exact. My wife thought I was bi for a long time and she asked me about before I went to Iraq. I told her no, that's just how we, the infantry, are. I could damn near tell you who was who by seeing their balls. You could be gay as fuck in the infantry and nobody would know, especially if gay chicken was involved. I once saw a dude get ready to jerk off another dude because he didn't want to lose a round of gay chicken. He spit on hand and pulled the dude's dick out and was ready to start working the shaft until the other guy chickened out. The guy that chickened out was mocked and ridiculed for being a chicken. The infantry is a weird place. Sounds like she wanted a reason to F off. I say wear what makes you happy. There's a great Eddie Izzard, who is an executive transvestite, bit where he says he doesn't wear women's clothes. He wears his clothes. And he rocks it. So keep on rocking it. Keep being yourself and doing what you want. They're not women's clothes. They're my clothes. I bought them. It's 2019 and people still assume people's sexual preference based on clothes. Need. More like blessed shawls that make people show their true selves. Well, she did say that she is from the South, and to those from the South I get that not everyone is like that, but they are still struggling with the idea of being comfortable with their own body and emotions and not being homosexuals. Which in itself is ironic, because I am a gay male myself, and holy hell, emotional trauma runs deep in the LGBT community. So when did self-acceptance and being comfortable with yourself become bastion of the gay community? Because if we are, it's great at masking the hell that it took to achieve it in the first place. The shawl is a blessing in disguise because it exposed your girlfriend's questionable beliefs about masculinity. I think that by you wearing a shawl and being affectionate with your guy friends, it just shows you are comfortable in your masculinity. My partner has the same qualities and I'm marrying him in 2 weeks. Get a new girlfriend. Exactly. I make homoerotic jokes all the time to my guy friends. Hell, I was even Hello Kitty for Halloween lady night. Pulled an entire 9-hour shift in customer service wearing pink blush, whiskers, and a bow. This even led to a regular customer trying to set me up with their gay friend. I do all this because I'm not afraid to be effeminate, because I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm not gonna change the way I act just because someone might think I'm not straight. In fact, I get to laugh at those people at the end of the day because they think they have to force themselves to be a manly man to be straight, and they're probably afraid of being called or assumed to be gay. No one knows me better than me, so why should I give a flying fuck about anyone else's ideas about who I am?